put off because it just took one call to Mike at Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops. I now have the kitchen I was dreaming about for years with lots of features and changes that I hadn't even thought about. Thank you, Mike and crew at Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops. I love my new kitchen.
Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops, located next to Quality Toyota on Lincoln Avenue, Fergus Falls.
Hi, this is Josh Sternberg with Sternberg Homes. If you're dreaming of remodeling your home or lake place before summer, now's the time to start planning. We're already booking spring projects, and summer slots are going to fill up fast. Whether it's a kitchen makeover, a full bath remodel, or upgrading to a custom walk-in shower, we're ready to take measurements and turn your vision into reality. Don't wait. Let's get your plans in motion today. Call Sternberg Homes and let's build something amazing together.
Sternberg Homes. You can check them out at sternberghomes.com.
Folks, listen up. This is Chris Cannon, Executive Director at the Humane Society of Lauderdale County, and boy, do we have cats for you. We've got new cats, we've got certified pre-owned cats, low mileage cats, high mileage cats, cats will chase your mice, and cats that are a little too afraid of them. Whatever you're looking for, we've got the perfect match. Cats of every color, shape, and size. Don't let these little beauties slip through your paws. Come on down to the Humane Society in Fergus Falls and take a test meow today.
As temperatures plunge, it's the perfect time to dive into book season. Whether you're curling up on the couch or nestled in your favorite chair, Victor Lundeen Company is here to make your reading escape even better. From expert advice on authors to local favorites and stories set right here at home, you'll find inspiration. At Victor Lundeen Company, it's not just a book nook. It's a treasure trove of bestsellers, timeless classics, and kids' favorites. Victor Lundeen Company, the fun place to shop in downtown Fergus Falls.
Otter Tail County, your news leader is News Talk 1250 AM KBRF Fergus Falls. Depend on it.
News Talk 1250 KBRF now presents The Coaches Show with Craig Olson. Brought to you by Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, LB Homes, American Federal Bank, American Legion, the Minnesota Motor Company, and by the Artisan Agency. Here's KBRF Sports Director Craig Olson.
Well, thank you, Dave Bishop. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program, our next to last show of the winter sports season here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app. And it's one of the busiest weekends of the season, probably the busiest weekend of the season in Minnesota winter sports, because you have girls basketball playoffs going on. You have the end of the regular season for boys basketball, resulting in the seeding meetings this weekend to determine next week's playoff seedings and pairings. And you also have the state wrestling tournament going on. We have a number of individuals from our area down at the XL Energy Center in St. Paul competing there. We have the Spartan men's basketball team playing in the Region 13 tournament. And it's just a pinnacle of sports happenings here all around. It's swimming. The Otters are at the Section 5A swim meet today for the finals. They had the prelims yesterday. Randy Hansen will be in shortly to talk about their first day of competition and what to expect today as Otters try to get to state in that sport. So we've got a lot to cover in the next hour and a half. And we'll start out by just kind of reviewing some things here. Matt Johnson is unable to be with us this morning of the Otter boys basketball team. Matt, as we've talked about before with him, he may be the varsity boys coach too, but he's got young kids playing ball, and he's working, helping them also, and he's in Detroit Lakes for some kids basketball this morning. So Matt was unable to join us. So we'll touch on what happened with the Otters this week too here in the next few minutes as we want to catch you up on a lot of stuff. Starting with wrestling. And we've had live updates the last 2 days from Jack Dretch and Peter Anderson, who are down at the XL Energy Center in St. Paul covering the area wrestlers. And we'll have reports again from those two guys throughout the day today. Of course, we don't have that many wrestlers competing anymore because as the matches are wrestled, a lot of guys get beat and they go to the sidelines for the rest of the meet. But there are some area wrestlers who are still going, including Owen Gruco from West Central area, Ashby, Brandon, Evansville. He's in the semifinals in Class A at 139 pounds. And Jeremy Blosick is in the wrestlebacks for the Knights. He is at 215 pounds. Orrin Hart from Bertha Hewitt, Verndale Parker's Prairie at 145, and Hudson Truex at 133. They are both in the wrestlebacks as well. And from Frazee, Ashton Reller is still competing. He's in the wrestlebacks, as is Blake Sonnenberg. Reller is at 107 and Sonnenberg at 160. And Bailey Peichel is in the semifinals at 145. Also, Barnesville's Cameron Halverson at 172. Cameron's in the semifinals as well. And Caleb Froning from Fergus Falls won his first round match 6-0 in the AA competition at 160, but then Caleb lost his next two matches, and he is out of the tournament and not wrestling today. So that's the update on the local wrestlers who are still going on Saturday, on the final day of the wrestling season. Now let's talk for a minute about Spartan basketball, because Jason Retzloff is down at Anoka Ramsey Community College in Coon Rapids. He's covering the Spartan men, who are now 27-2 after a great victory last night as they won 107-55 over Mesabi Range. And the Spartans fell behind 4-0, and then they went on a 29-2 run, and that took care of that. They led by, up to around 35 points in that game. And the Spartans, they've shot the ball so well all season, and they went through a little dry spell at the end of the season with their shooting percentage, but they still wound up right around or just over 50% as a team overall, and in the upper 30s from three-point range as a team. Well, yesterday, they made 62.3% of their field goal attempts, and they also hit 15 of 24 threes, with 8 different guys nailing a three-pointer, and that's 62.5% for the game from three-point territory. And they also had a commanding 47-28 advantage on the boards in that game last night. So pretty impressive victory, and stats bear it out for the Spartans last evening. They had, Jonas Muhammad made 4 out of 6 threes. He had 15 points. All 5 of their starters were in double figures. That's happened before, quite a bit this year. They always have 4 guys, it seems, in double figures. Fode Sharif had 19. He had a double-double. He grabbed 16 rebounds also, and he had 6 assists and a pair of blocked shots. That's just Fode. That's what he does right there. Tyson MacArthur, 16 points on 5 of 8 shooting. Made all 4 of his free throws. Braylon Baldwin, boy, as he stepped up in the absence of the injured Javen Tyndall. Braylon had 12 points, pulled down 8 rebounds, and back to Jonas Muhammad. He had 6 assists and 4 steals. So just a great team effort last night in the opening round of the Region 13 tournament. And the Spartan men will play at 4 o'clock today against Ridgewater College from Wilmer. And that's a team they've beaten twice this year. And they will play at 4. We will have the game on Channel 977 FM and AM 1020 with Jason Retzloff calling the action. The other semifinal is Central Lakes against Riverland. Now, the Spartans have 2 losses this year, and those are the 2 teams. So the Spartans, if they win today, will get one of those 2 teams tomorrow at 2:30 for the Region 13 championship. Now, they're playing for the right to go to the NJCAA Division III National Tournament. The winner goes. And then there's an at-large bid also. And the way the Spartans have played this year with that 27-2 record and a number 4 ranking in the nation, I think, they win today and play for the championship tomorrow. I think win or lose, they're going to nationals. They could even go if they lose today with that at-large bid, but chances are they would have a much better shot if they get to tomorrow. So we'll see. We're going to watch that one with great interest, and I'm looking forward to that. The Spartan team at 27-2, third most wins in the history of Spartan men's basketball. Jason Retzloff played on that undefeated national championship team in '98 that went 29-0, and then the 02-03 team that also went to nationals wound up with 29 wins and 3 losses. And now this year's team is 27-2, the third most wins in the history of Spartan men's basketball. So it's been an outstanding season. Now, in addition to all of that that's going on, we have girls basketball tonight from Roosevelt as the Otters are in action against Wilmer tonight in the Section 8-3A semifinals. That's at 7 o'clock at the Roosevelt Gym, and that game is here on News Talk 1250 KBRF. We have West Central area in action against Hancock at Minnewaska Area High School in Glenwood. They play, well, around 2:45, 2:30 pregame, and you'll find that one on Real Rock Z103 today, where we also have the wrestling updates periodically throughout the day. And then on KJ Country 96.5 FM, it's a doubleheader from Perham, where the Section 6A North subsection semifinals are going on. The section quarterfinals at 1 o'clock, Hillcrest plays Park Christian, and after that, Underwood and New York Mills in girls basketball. A couple of great games there, and the two winners will clash on Tuesday night back in Perham for the subsection title and a berth in the section championship game. So that's the schedule of broadcasts that we have going on today. Mark Johnson's going to be over in Perham, and Bob Roars is going to be at Minnewaska area to cover West Central area. Nick Keel has the Otters tonight, and Jason Retzloff with the Spartans this afternoon. And the other thing I want to talk about, since Matt Johnson is unable to be here today, the Otters won last night 82-70 in their final regular season game, as they honored their seniors last night. On senior night, Henry Bethel had 32 points and 8 assists. Ryan Hurst had 23 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, as the Otters closed out the season with their 19th win. And they get the seeding results tomorrow for Section 8-3A. They're going to be the number 2 seeds in Section 8-3A. That's not going to change, which means they will probably host St. Cloud Tech in their first round game, the way it's looking on the Tuesday night, but that will all be official tomorrow. And earlier this week, Henry Bethel turned in that trifecta, and Dave Bishop did a nice story on that here on News Talk 1250 KBRF, which did a great job summing that up, so I won't spend a lot of time on it. But Henry set the single-game scoring record with 42 points, beating Jason Retzloff's previous record of 41. He is now the all-time single-season scoring leader in Otter history. When you add in his points from last night, he's up to 649 now. And the career scoring record is his as well, passing Nate Runn's career scoring record. He is now up to 1,850 points in his Otter career. So congratulations to Henry. Well, let's take a timeout. We're going to concentrate now on the Otter boys swim team, as they are involved in the Section 5A meet, and they'll have the finals this afternoon starting at 1 o'clock at UM Morris, and Randy Hansen will be here to talk about that and what the expectations are and review yesterday's preliminary results when our program continues on the other side of the break here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live on the Fergus Now app.
Portions of today's program may be pre-recorded.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your forecast from the KBRF Weather Center. Sunny skies today with highs around 24. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 16. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Tomorrow, high of 43. High temperatures reach up to 50 Monday under partly cloudy skies. 40 Tuesday, chance of rain. Right now, it's 7 degrees above zero.
Finding that missing shin guard. Remembering whether it's a home or away game. Getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things. Like not being that fan.
Oh, come on! on, ref.
That's simple human sense.
Visit the Arneson Agency at their new location, 120 East Lincoln, Fergus Falls.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Hi, my name is Lori, and I'm the housing manager at Sheridan House in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. If you're 55 or older and looking for a quiet and comfortable apartment with underground parking, meals available for purchase, a flexible month-to-month lease, plus $500 off your first month's rent, give me a call at 218-998-7404 or go to lbhomes.org/Sheridan. I'd love to show you around and see if Sheridan House is right for you.
High-quality local embroidery for your community. Running Stitches is the choice for everything, from business logos to team apparel and personal projects. They bring your designs to life. Andrew and Allison Olson from Running Stitches Embroidery are proud supporters of local sports.
At American Federal Bank, they believe in the power of teamwork, dedication, and supporting future champions. That's why they're proud supporters of local high school athletics. From Friday night lights to buzzer-beating shots, these student athletes inspire us all. Just like them, American Federal Bank is here to go the extra mile for you. Whether it's a savings account, loan, or helping you score your financial goals, let's cheer on the young athletes together. American Federal Bank, investing in the community, one play at a time. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the program. Next to last coaches show of the season. Last one is next week. And we're into March already. March Madness, it's underway, although it starts earlier than March, doesn't it, Randy?
It feels like it, yeah.
Yeah, it starts in February for sure.
Yep.
Randy Hansen is the head coach of the Otter Boys swimming and diving team and the winner of the Coach's Facial Hair Award this year. Nice stash.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, it's something. So it's not. My wife is not super impressed with it, but it's temporary, so it's okay.
I was telling Derek and Randy, I could never. If I tried to do that, it'd be a joke. So good job. The Otter Boys are at that section championship day today. We find out who gets to state. More on that in a minute. Before we go there, Randy, 2 weeks ago, you had your Central Lakes Conference meet, and we talk about how tough that meet is. But you had some guys step up and do great and get some honorable mention all-conference honors.
Yeah, that's always a good goal. It's going to be really hard for us to ever to win that conference, as right now, just number-wise, and just the talent is just so high. Brainerd and Alec are just really, really good. So, we always shoot for, beating the teams that we beat in the dual meets, which we did. We beat Wilmer. Well, we lost to them in the dual meet, so we beat them at the meet. We beat DL, we beat Apollo, and so those were, so it was good. We finished about where we thought we would as a team, and then to get both Reese and Jaden all conference honorable mentions in their individual events is nice. It's a good accomplishment, and a couple other guys, missed out just barely, but that's going to happen, and it's just a tough meet that way.
Absolutely, but it's a great meet to prepare you for this weekend, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I would rather have that than be an independent or be somewhere else. I don't know much about any other conference, but our conference is a good window, and we're not rested, we're not, but it's like, all right, where are we at? Here's some really good competition. All right, here we go, and we kind of know what we have going into taper.
So take us back to the following days after that and what your plan was and how you executed your prep for this weekend.
Yeah, well, and taper is, again, like I talked about before, kind of between your ears a little bit. But, it is resting your body and doing things, a little more strategic, and we just kind of decrease the yardage every day until they, you can kind of start to see their bodies freshen back up a little bit, and then just get ready for prelims. So it's take care of what you can control. Don't go all crazy, and we're not going to redo a whole bunch of things with our strokes and do something radical different. We're just we are where we are, and we're in as shape as we're going to be, and now we just got to rest our bodies and get ready to race.
Tell us about the approach to prelims last night, because every event is different. Every swimmer's in a different spot with the competition they're going to be facing. Time-wise, the goal is to get to today, and the top 8 get in the championship, and then the next 8 get in the consolation heat. But to get to state, boy, it's hard to do that. So what has to happen today, and what was the mindset going in last night?
Yeah, well, last year, we were in a pretty similar situation, and the guys, kind of like, oh, well, they all have what's called tech suits. They're really, high quality, really scientifically engineered suits that they do make a difference, and they're super tight fitting. And the guys decided not to wear them for prelims, and they decided not to shave and stuff. And then, like Matthew Toole, swam his worst 200 free of the season in section prelims, and that is not what we want to do. And the rest of the guys were just flat too. So I remember coming in, that day after and just going, that was terrible. And then we bounced back. We took a totally different approach this year. So they absolutely, some of them didn't shave, which is fine, but they all wore their tech suits, and the message was, you have to go fast. You have to, and they did. We swam really well. We're in a good spot. You want to be in that position to get guys to state, and we got a lot of guys right on that doorstep. A couple guys, Jaden Kopinski and made state qualifying time in the 200 IM and the 100 free. It doesn't matter. You have to do that today, but still to do it in prelims is good. Reese made 100 state cut in the 100 back, and our 4 free relay made the state cut time too. So all that was not really unexpected, but it was, it was nice. It was good to see. You got to get top 3 today, or you got to make state cut time. So we got a lot of guys that are in a really good spot. And anyway, so as they're racing yesterday, the message was, you got to go hard. And they did, but also in the back of their mind, when they're ahead enough, you can see them coasting just a little bit. And that's not a criticism of them at all, but, take a little bit off. And so long story short, they've got stuff in the tank, and it's just going to be just an electric atmosphere. They're going to be just jacked and ready to go. And it's just going to be a good day.
Yeah, you don't do a lot of meets during the year where you have prelims on the one day and then the finals the next day.
None,
but
yeah,
they have 0.
Yeah.
So, that's got to be a challenge too. Well, not only the mental challenge there, but physically, how am I going to respond?
Yeah, and we're lucky enough that, our section meets are either in Alec or Morris. That's where they've been the last couple of years. So we just, barring the bad weather, we just come back home. And sleeping in your own bed is a big deal. There were years where we were in St. Cloud, which is fine, but it's fairly close, but that's way too far to go back and forth. So getting home at we were home back in our house by 9:30 last night. That was great. And the guys would shave and get to bed at a decent hour, and we leave at 9:30 this morning. So that's breakfast in their own home. So all of that is really great. So yeah, physically. They won't be tired. I mean, they're just going to be so, adrenaline's just going to be flowing, and they're just going to be ready to go, because there's always something left in the tank. We always tell them in practice too, on those sets that are really hard. Hey, you think you're going fast, you always have something else. You just got to find it, and a lot of that is just mental.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you went through, like most teams did, some sickness during the year. There've been a couple of little injuries you've had to deal with. As far as the health goes, the update there, what's it like?
We're good.
All right.
We're good for now. Yeah, we're good. So, everybody's healthy and no injuries. And, barring somebody gashing themselves shaving last night, I think we're okay. Yeah.
So this team, you have some state experience on this team. How big is that going into today?
Yeah, it's nice. They're looking ahead a little bit, which is okay, and that's pretty reasonable. And you got to get through today, but having, our 4 free relay had experience last year, so with Jaden and Matthew and Landon and Reese, and then Reese in the fly in the back, Jaden in the 2 IM, Matthew in the 2 and the 5. Those all have really good shots. Our 2 free relay has a really good shot again this year. Our medley went last year, so Ethan Strandy got some experience there. Lucas Toole, 8th grader, took Logan Roth's spot in the fly. So he's, I think he had a little bit of a case of the nerves yesterday. So I think I'm looking to see him bounce back pretty hard today. So he's an important part of that medley relay. Have those guys having experience and been there, done that, can really be an example for those younger guys for sure.
Well, you've got, 10 events or 11 events where you've got guys swimming in the finals today.
Yeah.
So, that's exciting. And a lot of them, they're positioned where you can move up here with not too much of an effort.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We do, the only one we don't have in the championship is the 50 free. But Gabe Carlson I think he's in 11th or so, and he's in a good spot. I mean, he really swam real well and had a nice time drop, so that was awesome for him. We actually got every guy into finals except for one. And that Eli Roth, who's an 8th grader and swam part of the season with us, so he didn't have all the training background that the other guys had. But every other guy is swimming one of their events today. Either some of them didn't qualify in both, but they all qualified in at least one, which is great. And our section isn't that big, so that helps. But you also have to swim well, and we had some really nice time drops just from some of those younger guys too. Those newer swimmers were dropping some good time, and a couple of them that were frustrated I know are going to be ready to go today. Yeah.
200 medley relays, the first event of the day. The Otters have, it seems over the years that I've followed Fergus Falls swimming more years than not, that's been a great starting event for the Otters. You get the tone set early. How important is that to go out and have that good first event?
Yeah, really good. And DL is going to have some difficulty getting relays to state if that's the medley's their best chance. So they're just going to be just ready to go, and they're the one behind us. I think they're about 4 seconds behind us, but they're going to be firing on all cylinders. And if we take care of business, we'll be just fine. But it is, you're right, it's important to set that tone right away and get that first relay to go to state, and then you just go, all right, here we go. You can take that breath and we just need to be in the top 3 or make state cut, and that's all that matters from there.
So, okay, tell us about the guys who are swimming that medley relay and what makes them such a good team.
Yeah, they've been together for a while, other than Logan Rott graduating last year. Right. And then replaced with Lucas Toole. So they've just been, they know each other. We've had that same core group doing exchanges together. Ethan Strandy's breaststroke has come a long way since last year. Even he had a great 100 breast race yesterday. So Coach Zolzo's been working him a lot on that, and Jaden Kapinski's freestyle has just come. I mean, he did a 49 second 100 off the blocks. He's done the relays before, but that was his fastest ever 100 and made state cut time, and then also pulled out a 48 in the relay. So he's come a long way as well, and Reese's backstroke just continues to get better and better, and Lucas just has to keep growing. I mean, he's doing great. So I don't want to make it sound like he's the weak link by any means, but he's just also an 8th grader, and so he's had a lot of swimming experience, so that helps. But it's a little different stage at the state swim meet for sure.
I was just going to say, and you're talking about all these guys, and they're all young.
Yeah. Yep. No seniors, which is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, yep.
It's awesome, right. All right, so moving on here to the talking about 200 freestyle, you have Matthew, the number 3 seed, and Landon, the number 5 seed. What are your thoughts there as far as today?
Yeah, and both of those guys, again, took a little off the top at the end, which is totally reasonable. They're both in a great position to be in that top 3. The guy who's going to win is the guy from Alec, and he's going to be really, really, really good. So it's going to be hard to beat. So it's really a fight for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th between. I think that's a Melrose kid. Yeah, is the 2nd place kid. So that's going to be a fun race. And Matthew went last year, and Landon's right there on the doorstep as well. So yeah.
Then you got 3 guys in the top 6 in the 200 IM, and good opportunities there.
Yeah. If you have 3 guys in there is awesome. And Ethan Strandy is one that we kind of put in there later just because we thought he had a better chance to place there than he did in the 50 free, and that bet played off, so that was nice. And Jaden's just, his breaststroke, like I said, his freestyle's come a long way, but his breaststroke has really improved, and that has really helped his time just to drop significantly. So he's just getting more confident, and he just continues to grow and just to mature as a swimmer as well. So yeah.
I'm guessing Jaden in that event is probably one of your best chances at a championship individual event, but you have others too. Where do you feel you have the best chances at getting that number 1?
Yeah, it's hard to say. He's probably right in there. 4 free relays got a really good chance. Matthew's got a good chance in the 500. I would like to say Reese in the backstroke, but it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a uphill battle for him, but he'll be in that top 3. I have no doubt. But he could be anywhere from 1 to 3. Those are probably the best ones, I would think. But you never know. We've seen weirder things. I mean, Reese last year qualified for state in lane 8. In the championship, he barely made it into championship heat, and then he qualified in the 3rd. So I mean, you just never know. Micah Zozel last year or 2 years ago dropped 6 seconds in his breaststroke. And so it's just weirder things have happened. So you just never know.
You mentioned some of the guys swimming state cut times yesterday. Do you see that happening today in some events where there will be some qualifiers who may not place top 3 but make it?
Yeah, maybe from some other teams. I think our guys that'll make that state cut will probably be top 3 anyway.
Okay.
But it's just nice not to if you can make the state cut, then you don't really have to worry about it, So that's good. Matthew's got a really good chance in both the 2 and the 5 to make state cut, and Landon's right on that doorstep as well. And I think the other guys that made those times yesterday should repeat with that same thing today.
Well, we talked about the start with the 200 medley relay and how you need to set the tone and the finish in the 400 freestyle relay. It's such a great finishing event, and there's so much on the line in dual meet sometimes, and as far as the team scoring goes. And how about that event today, Randy? Is it going to be ultra competitive at the end of the meet?
Yeah, we're sitting second, I think, right now,
Yep.
and I know some teams are going to change their lineups a little bit, and we kind of are who we are, so there's not much we can do with that. We can maybe change where we put people, but I'm not sure we're going to do that. So we just need our guys just to meet the challenge, and it is going to be electric. I know. Alec really wants to win it, and I would really like to not have that happen. So but we got to get out. We got to get out right away, and we got to put the hammer down. So we're really counting on Landon to give his best split off the top. We just need to get that lead off really well, and then those other guys will respond. Yeah.
We don't talk a lot about team scoring in the section meet because it's all about getting individuals to state. But when you look at the team scoring, where do the Otters fit in there?
Oh, we'll probably be third.
Okay.
DL, I'm not sure where we sit. We didn't have any diving yet, so I didn't even look to see what DL scored in diving. But third, fourth is probably where it is pretty reasonable. It's going to be a battle for first and second. Melrose Sauk Center barely beat Alec and the True Team, which is a different scoring system, so you just never know. And if I had to bet, I would say Alec is going to nip, Melrose, but we'll see. It'll be a battle between those two, and then we'll be in that second tier for sure.
So, final question: how did the coach sleep last night?
Actually, pretty good.
Okay,
Actually, yeah,
good,
pretty
good.
good. Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah,
you
but
got
I did wake up, and a little bit earlier than normal, but yeah, it was all right.
Is there a lineup conflict going on in your head for the relays as far as where you do swim people? What order?
No, not too bad. You just kind of go through some races. All right, I got to remember to tell this kid this, and I got to remember to do that, and boy, I hope this happens. So you just kind of replay some things in your head, and I don't see too many radical changes today.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Best of luck over there today. Enjoy it.
I appreciate it.
I know
Thanks.
you do. So,
Yeah.
Randy Hansen, head coach of the Otter boys swimming team, and we'll be back with more. We're going to shift gears and talk a whole lot of basketball here. Comet basketball next with Donovan Rognes as the Coaches Show continues on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
Hi, my name is Peggy Stockinger, and thanks to Bonnie and her design from Cornerstone Countertops, we got the pantry we always wanted in our kitchen. She helped us with the style and the color of our cabinets, and with the help of Keith and Wayne's installation expertise, we were able to make some adjustments, and the cabinets and countertops came out great. Thank you, Bonnie, Keith, and Wayne at Cornerstone Countertops.
Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops, located next to Quality Toyota on Lincoln Avenue, Fergus Falls.
If you're thinking of remodeling your home or lake place, don't wait. I'm Josh Sternberg with Sternberg Homes. Spring projects are booking fast, and summer projects are going to be filling up soon. Whether you're dreaming of a stylish new kitchen, a refreshed bathroom, or a custom walk-in shower, now's the perfect time to plan. We'll measure, help design, and make your vision come to life. Let's get started today so you can enjoy your new space by summer. Call Sternberg Homes. We're ready when you are.
Sternberg Homes. You can check them out at sternberghomes.com.
Hi, I'm Chris Cannon with the Humane Society of Otter Tail County. Trying to get in more steps this year? Here's a great idea. Become a dog walker for the Humane Society. When you take one of our dogs out for a walk, you're giving them exercise, fresh air, and a chance to learn basic commands and manners, all of which helps them to find their forever home. It's a win-win. You stay active, and they get closer to adoption. Call the Humane Society at 218-739-3494 to learn more and start walking with purpose in 2025.
Welcome back to the program. We're talking football, actually, Donovan and I. But we're going to go to basketball now to talk about the playoffs that are coming up. And this week that the Comets head, Donovan Rognus, the head coach of the Hillcrest boys basketball team, is with us. 20 wins on the season. I don't know if you've done research there on the record books. So you've had a few really good Hillcrest teams, some you were a part of, that I'm sure hit that 20-win mark. But that's quite an accomplishment any year.
Yeah, for sure. We talked with our boys a little bit at the beginning of the season that I think no one had the expectation that we were going to get there. We did have a 20-win season last year. We had a couple of good players that scored a lot, and so I think people thought this year was going to be a rebuild year. And our guys said, no, we're going to be a solid team this year. So.
Well, and the key is the defense. Your defense has been outstanding. You held Monoman Waban to 32 last night in a 57-32 win. Beat Lake Park Audubon 65-53 earlier this week. So your defense, and we talked about this early in the year too, I think you're still leading or right up there, 1 or 2 in the section in defensive points allowed per game. But tell us why your defense is doing what it's doing, why it's a lockdown defense right now. What's happening?
Yeah, I think it just comes to personality. Like our guys, their whole life they've been the scrappy, work hard, team playing type team, and that's what we do. Is we get down on defense, and our guys are in sync with each other, and they know when they got to go trap, what movements they got to make. The other guys are rotating, and it's just a big team play. We don't have a big guy in the middle. That's the guy that is going to secure the paint. Everybody has to secure the paint. It starts with the ball handler. We got to lock down the ball handler, and then if we do that, we're in good position everywhere else. So.
And of course, help defense is important. How good are you guys at the help defense?
Right, and that's where we get our turnovers. Is our guys will pressure the ball, trap the ball. Our rotations are really good, and then when they think there's an open guy, we got a guy flying into that passing lane to take it. So help defenses. I mean, we have to have that. We're a team that's we got some 6-foot+ players, but we're not just like big and dominant. We're just quick and we know where to be.
Well, and that's a key in rebounding too, knowing where to be and being quick, going after the ball, beating the competitor to it. How has that part of the game progressed this year?
Yeah, so we do a lot of emphasis on rebounding in practice. Like we have a lot of competitions that's been going all year long, and so the guys, we build the instinct to go after the ball when it's shot. Ethan sets the tone for us inside. He's just a workhorse. He's physical. He knows where to be. When he gets the ball, he secures it well, and then we push the ball up the floor, and then everyone else is just flying around looking for him. A lot of teams shoot threes, and when you shoot a three, there's usually a long rebound that's going to come, and our guys are ready for it. They're looking for that long rebound, and they go after it.
Yeah, that's had to be a kind of a whole mental shift, with all the threes that are thrown now as far as the positioning goes, so that you're in position, get a rebound. You're right, there are a lot more long rebounds now, and you got to be conscious of where that shot's coming from.
Yeah, your instinct is when the ball goes up that you're going to turn, look at the hoop, and then you start moving towards the hoop, right? But you can't do that, and we've been talking about that a lot this year. Is that you got to go out. You got to go away from the hoop towards the players. That's they're all 4 or 5 guys are standing outside the 3-point line. So you got to go out and find them, because if you don't, then you get a rebound that goes over your head, and then you have to play defense again.
Have you been pretty successful in converting off those turnovers that you're creating, turning that into offense?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't broke down how many transition points we get a game, but yeah, we're definitely trying to push the ball. It's part of our strategy for sure. I would probably say we generate quite a few fouls when we're going in transition, because guys get out of position and we just push the ball really hard. We got some good vision. We're also at that point too where at this point in the season we want to make sure we're making good transition passes. I'd rather save the possession, not get the turnover, than make something risky. But so our guys have settled into that pretty nice.
Oh, and one of the great benefits of outstanding defense like you play is if you're having an off shooting night, I mean, you can still be in the game and give yourself a chance to win on a night where things just aren't working well on the offensive end.
Right, and that happened when we played Lake Park. We went in there and it wasn't for lack of effort. Our guys work hard. We were just in a slump and we just couldn't hit our shots. We missed a lot of outside shots that we normally hit. But when you're totally right. When your defense is playing well, it covers for your offense. We kind of have a little quote going right now is that you don't have to play perfect. You have to cover for your teammate. And so when you're not scoring, your defense covers for your offense. And our defense is just playing really well. Like 3 games ago when we played Ulen, we held them to 9 points at halftime.
Wow.
And then we got to play Woburn last night. We held them to 14. And it's just our guys are working so hard, and they thrive down there. So yeah.
I think one of the stats that Sam shared in his write-up is you held the Thunderbirds to 0 for 10 shooting from the arc, and Monoman Waban, I think they've had some pretty good three-point shooters over the years. I don't know if they're struggling this year from that or not, but what's your defensive strategy when you try to shut down the three-point line? How much do you sacrifice as far as defending the basket or the lane in that case?
Yeah, so back to the Monoma game, I think what our coaches talked about after the game is our pressure, I think, kind of rattled them a little bit. We came out in full court, and so their shooters, I think, were just feeling a little under or overwhelmed just with our guys. So I think that took them out of their game a little bit, which was a good for us. Yeah, I mean, as far as what was your main question again?
The pressure on the perimeter. What makes your team a successful defensive team in preventing a good three-point shooting team from having that success?
Yeah, so it all goes back to what I just mentioned earlier, is that we make it a goal that you need, if the ball is across from you, you need to contain the ball. So when you don't get out of position, you can hold teams from shooting threes, right? So you get out of position, the ball rotates around, and all of a sudden that one more pass goes to the corner, there's no defender there, and you give them that opportunity. So we just really are focusing on our defense and our ability to stop and contain the ball. It all starts there.
Do you find teams kind of throwing up shots maybe that they would throw up if you weren't pressuring? They would take a little extra half second or whatever?
For sure. We saw the shot clock hit, under 10 seconds a lot last night. And so that means that we're pressuring the ball for 25. And then when everyone starts counting down at 10, you can see the change in demeanor on the offense when they have to know that they have to find something. And they're not the best shots.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, talk about the offensive side of things, because you had 8 guys score last night. That's good. You like to see a number of guys contributing. But you've also had some really good spark off the bench. You've had guys come in who have, provided points right away for you off the bench, which can be a huge pickup.
Yeah, we've, if you go back and look at our stats for the year, I would say like Preston and Sean are our main scorers contributing on offense. But when we played the other night against Ulen, we put up 57 points, and Sean and Preston combined had 13.
Okay.
So everybody in our team can score. So I think that's what makes us interesting dynamic, is when a team looks to scout us, like we don't have 2 guys or 1 guy that they need to shut down. We have a lot of guys that can score. So coming off the bench, like Zane and Kean coming off the bench as our 6 and 7 guy, just been tremendous this year. Kean can hit some great outside shots, and Zane is so dynamic with his defense and his ability to run the floor and create shots. And we do well.
And when you have an offense that has a number of contributors here, you need to take care of the ball so you can get into your offensive flow in the half court and make something happen. But has that been a strength too, Donovan? Are you taking good care of the basketball, not turning it over?
Well, lately we have. Last couple of games have been good. Our number is 12. That's where we want to be. We push the ball. So if you're going to have 12 turnovers, you're being aggressive, right? If you're going to have 4 turnovers, you're probably not being very aggressive, and we're aggressive. So, we just got to take care of the ball, and when we push it in transition, we got to know what we're doing. I always tell the guys, make sure you can see their eye. Like, you can't just see a body and chuck it up there and pretend that they're going to get it, because they might not be looking for it. So
I get the feeling you guys, this coaching staff, you kind of like coaching defense, don't you?
Well, everybody always says, like, Hillcrest has always been known for their defense. And it's interesting. So maybe Greg Preston ingrained that in me back in the day.
I think so.
He probably did, more than I know it. And so here we are today. It's like, we thrive on our defense. And we make a defense fun. We don't make it a grind where no one loves to do it. The boys have fun with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Defense can be fun, and I bet Greg has a big smile on his face right now to thinking about the defense you play if he does. So,
yeah.
Section seating is Well, today, right?
It's coming up today, yep.
Like soon.
Yeah.
So you're number 4 in the North as far as the section standings go. In the way it looks here, there's really close between 2, 3, and 4. Where are you thinking the Comets are going to land in this seeding?
Yeah, so what's interesting this year is that we have a coach's vote on the seating. One of the teams kind of had to forfeit some games, and so they bailed away from the QRF. So the coaches are gonna look back and see who they feel is the best, and they're gonna vote. So I would say that I feel like the Comets are gonna get the 4 seed.
Okay.
And then I'm honestly not sure where the coaches are gonna vote for the 5. I mean, there's a number of teams that are right there with each other, so it'll be interesting to see. Even with the QRF, their rankings are so close to each other that I'd have to go back and look at the formulas to see who jumps who and who does what. But yeah,
and it is going to be a wild section tournament.
Yeah, I was just for fun. I was scrolling on the website this morning, and there's not many teams that have not many sections that have the top 4 teams with 20 wins. So
Yeah.
the section 6A has got some good teams, and so it's going to be some good basketball.
How come they're all in the North, Donovan?
I don't know.
Except the West Central area.
Yeah,
they're in
poor
the
draw
South.
for us, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We like the challenge. Our team, I think we play better when we get the competition. Our guys understand where we're at, and I think that again goes back to the defense. When we can play good defense against a good team, I think that we could surprise anybody.
Well, and you're going to get a home game as a number 4 seed, and which you should lock into today. But is that Thursday?
That'll be Thursday, and then Perham, if we get that win, that'll be Saturday.
In Perham, yeah. And again, you won't know who you play till the seeding's done, who's going to be number 5, because you got Frazee and Underwood and Norman County, East Shield, and Hitterdale. They're all right there.
Yeah, they are.
Do you match up any better with one of those than the other 3? Or I know it doesn't matter. You just play who you're going to play.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're all, from what I can tell with those teams, they're all guard heavy, and they're all going to push the ball. And whoever we get, we're going to prepare for. I can't tell.
That's fair. This question wasn't. So,
Yeah.
hey, thanks for coming in, talking about your Comets. It's going to be a fun postseason. We're looking forward to covering it, of course. And Comets healthy?
We're doing great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Donovan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg.
Donovan Rognes, head coach of the Hillcrest boys basketball team, joining us here this morning on our Coaches Show. We'll be back with more basketball talk. Josh Steer is here to talk Otter girls basketball. Big game for them tonight at Roosevelt Gym. We'll talk about it and about the previous game when Josh joins us on the other side of the break here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Hi, this is Pam Luxfeld, and I would just like to share what a great experience I had working with Cornerstone Cabinets. Originally, we looked at doing a total kitchen remodel, but it was hard to think about removing cupboards that were still in great shape and serve their purpose. I knew I still wanted to do something, so we downsized our project to just updating our countertop and replacing the sink and faucet. Amanda was great to work with me. Mike and his crew did a great job designing my countertop and installing the undermount sink. I would recommend you contacting them for your next project, whether it be big or small.
Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops in their new location next to Quality Toyota on Lincoln Avenue.
Alan Haugrud, attorney at law, has been successfully helping clients in the Fergus Falls and Ottertail County area for over 30 years. Alan Haugrud specializes in family law, estate planning, business law, general practice, and bankruptcy. When you need an experienced attorney to handle your concerns, contact Alan Haugrud for a free initial consultation today. 998-4299. Alan Haugrud, attorney at law, 121 East Lincoln Avenue, downtown Fergus Falls.
CPAs that are certified to win. Smith and Sam Limited.
When you're on a trip and you're not sure how to navigate towards your destination, chances are you use a GPS. And when it comes to accounting, think of Smith & Sem as your GPS for bookkeeping. Smith & Sem will always guide you through the best path for your business needs. Smith & Sem, your numbers team, Fergus Falls.
We are back on the Coach Show talking girls basketball. Now Josh Steer is here, the head coach of the Otter girls basketball team, who have won 20 games also. We just talked to Donovan Rognes the Comets have won 20, and here you are winning 20. All you do is win 20 games, Josh, every year, right?
You know, that's never the goal, but yeah, it's been a fun ride so far, and you know, Coach Rognes has one up on me because it took us a playoff game to get there, but we'll take it anyway.
Yeah, it's, you know, you never know at the start of the year how it's going to play out, and you've done what you've done. You've gone out and you've won the games you should win, you know, and even won a couple that people might have looked at and said, no, I don't know if I can win that one. Brainerd comes to mind, you know. I mean, some great things happen during the course of the regular season, and then you wipe it all out because everybody's 0-0 and we're playing the playoffs. And this year, you're off to a good start there, too, with a 1-0 start. And one of the goals every year is to play playoff games at home. And you get to play another one tonight. So this is 2 playoff games at home. How great is that?
Well, I think it's a huge advantage. You know, you worked hard all season long to get that 2 seed. And that's the goal, right? Is you want to play games at home, you know, in front of the home crowd, familiar shooting environment, places you've practiced, you know, at Roosevelt, you know, we practice there at least once, maybe twice a week, depending on, and it's one of those things, you're in a familiar environment, you're going to have the home crowd advantage, and you don't have to get off of a bus after a 2-hour trip and get ready to play. So it's a huge advantage, and you know, when you talk about wins and losses, and you don't measure your success by wins and losses, but you really want that 2 seed. So it's kind of that catch-22, right? Double-edged sword. And you're kind of like, well, we're not in it for all the wins, but it's also nice to position yourself and have that hard work pay off by having a 2 seed and getting 2 home playoff games.
Well, and I always think of the seniors when that happens, because, you know, when you're a senior, it can be pretty emotional at the end of the season when you realize that after all the years of hard work and being an Otter, hey, this is my last home game. Well, your girls who were seniors got to experience 2 more home dates, and that's awesome for them. So
yeah, and you know, I feel like kids never buy into this, and it takes a long time for even adults to. But you know, it goes so fast,
right?
And the course of the season, you talk about how long it is. 26 games, that's a lot of games, and you start in the middle of November, and by the time you get to the end of February, you're kind of like, wow, that went way faster than you think. And the closer you get to the end, the faster it goes. So for us to get 2 more home games was really exciting for the girls
and for the fans. I mean, Fergus follows as well as anybody in the state. I'm going to say we're the best in the conference and the section at following our teams for sure. Mm-hmm. But how fun is that, you know, to play in front of your home crowd again? And you've got a lot of love here in this community for your team.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's really fun to see. You know, at the boys' game last night, no matter where you go, you see maroon and gold at any home event that you have, and whether it's a choir concert, band concert, or a section semifinal, you know, you're going to see the Otter faithful show up. So we're super happy and love the support that we get from the community.
Well, and especially in a game like you had the other night, you're playing a team, St. Cloud, that's really struggling, and we've talked about this before. You go on the road to some of those gyms and try to get some energy created, and it's hard to do. In our gym, there's no problem getting energy for the home team, and that helps when you have a game that is unfolding the way your game did with St. Cloud the other night.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like a playoff environment until you kind of get into the flow of the game, and then all of a sudden the score goes one direction and it gets pretty lopsided, but I thought that the crowd was engaged. I thought the bench was doing a great job. I've been really happy with how our bench has been involved and engaged in the game and enthusiastic about celebrating the success of their teammates, and that doesn't change on who's on the floor and who's not. You know, at the end of the game, we get some of the younger kids in there to get some experience, and we empty the bench, and our varsity girls are sitting right up next to the coaches, and they're hanging on the edge of their seat on every shot that goes up, and it doesn't matter if it's the girls' first varsity points or if she's scored before. They're celebrating that success, and it's just been a lot of fun to be a part of that.
Otters took care of business early, 41-8 lead at halftime, went on to win 71-13 over St. Cloud. And I've talked to a few people, you know, who were there, and it's like, how in the world does a team only make 4 shots in a game? And we talked about it a little bit after the game, that just accidentally you would think the ball would go in every now and then, but they just could not hit. And I know a lot of that is your defense too.
Yeah, you know, Coach Sternberg has brought the 105 run and jump concepts to our full court pressure, and the girls have really bought into that. So we start a game like that, and we get them going faster than they want to go, create some turnovers and some easy offense for us. But it also tires the team down, and we didn't keep it on for very long, and when you pull the press off and you play half court man, well, our half court man's pretty good too, and sometimes that makes it harder when you're, sometimes you gamble in the full court a little bit and you give them an opportunity at a transition layup, or maybe you get a little disadvantaged as far as the defensive side goes on taking some risks on a steal, but when you go into the half court, then it makes it really hard because half court 5-on-5 is hard anyway. But yeah, our defense is playing really well right now. I think we've done a lot better job of keeping or winning our one-on-ones on the ball. But then if we don't win our one-on-one on the ball, we've got our low side help sitting there underneath the basket waiting for you, and we've got a girl on the backside that's playing two defenders. So that system has really caused some trouble for some of these teams, and yeah, St. Cloud, unfortunately, they couldn't buy a bucket.
You had 17 assisted baskets in that game. That stat's been fun to track this year because you really shared the ball well.
Yeah, that's a huge shift for us from last year to this year. Last year we were 19-10 in a very similar situation as far as wins and losses, and as far as where we were sitting in the section. Not a whole lot of difference there, but how we're playing is a whole lot different. We're playing a lot faster. We're sharing the ball. The ball is moving around a lot. It's touching lots of different girls' hands, and we're passing up what I would call a good shot to get a great shot. And but we're also, one thing that has just been really impressive, and I looked at Coach Sternberg and Coach Price on the sideline the other night, and Bryn makes a couple of passes a game that I'm like, I don't know how that got there, because she'll be she'll get a rebound or she'll get an outlet pass, and she'll be at the opposing, like under our defensive side, she'll get the ball at about maybe the free throw line or the 3-point line, and she pitches it ahead all the way to basically the low block on the other side of the gym. And she just drops it in the bucket, and it's kind of on a line, and you think about how hard that pass is, because you're kind of flicking it from your waist, and you're kind of pushing it ahead, and a lot of times you can Sam Darnold that thing, and it can sail on you, and it can come in a little high, but she just drops it in the bucket, and then you got to give the girl credit on the receiving end, whether it's Hattie Fullhart's been running the floor great, then Bella Anderson, and they're like a receiver out there, and they come down with it and they put it up and hopefully get an easy bucket for us. So. We've gotten a lot of transition points that way, at least 2 a game, 2 assists a game probably with that, and that's just fun basketball because it's pushing the tempo.
I don't know that Sam Darnold has ever been named on this show before, so you did it first.
Well, I got that fresh on my brain.
That's good, yep. The other thing that you've done with your back to defense here for a minute, we talked about the assist numbers. Your steal numbers are really good too, and that's coming from everybody. They're all just so active out there.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about the 105 defense, and Coach Sternberg has really worked on the ball pressure and a jump switch. So once we get a kid going on a speed dribble, if we get him going up the sideline, we're going to bring a trap from Hattie Fullhart's going to come trap it, and she's got a ton of steals off of it. But we also get a ton of steals off of the pass that comes out of that trap, because it's really hard. If the trap is good, it's really hard to throw a good pass. So we get that pass that kind of floats across to the middle of the floor, and then you've got Bryn Sternberg or Bella Anderson picking it off, and now we're in transition, and we have an advantage going the other way. So to see that rotation on the backside, and Carly Hurst has been one too, that gets a lot of steals off that, but we're getting a lot of deflections, and deflections lead to steals because our length and athleticism is giving teams trouble.
Ruby Ellison led you in scoring the other night against St. Cloud. She's led you a few times. She had 23 points, 9 of 12 shooting the ball. Great percentage there. How big has Ruby's emergence as an offensive threat helped this team where you don't have to rely on Bryn every game to get 20 points for you?
Yeah, that's huge for us. And a lot of those from Ruby are coming in the half court. So that's after we're set in our offense and she's scoring the ball. But when you add that up with what Bryn's going to contribute, and then you throw in Hattie Fullhart, throwing in 8 to 10 a night, and then whatever you get from Carly Hurst, and you're probably getting about 6 to 8 from her and Bella, and then you throw in Julie Hychek coming in and contributing, or Reese Keel or Presley Warren, and all of a sudden you're adding all that up and you're like, okay, well, if we score 60, we're giving ourselves a pretty good chance to win, because our defense is going to hold people in the 40s or lower right now is our average, I think. So if we got to score more than 40 points, because that's our defensive average, right? So that makes it a lot easier. I don't know if I want to use the word easy, because it's not. But when your defense is playing that well, you don't have to score a ton of points. But this year has been it's been a lot of fun to see the fact that we're getting 3 to 4 double figure a night kids some nights.
Tonight, Wilmer, you've beaten them twice this year, a couple of different games with them, a little tougher down there than it was at home. But what are the key matchups tonight for the Otters?
Yeah, they so far this season, through 27 games, have not shot the ball extremely well. So tonight, when we went down there, it was a 47-37 rock fight, and it was an offensive struggle or a defensive battle, whatever you want to call it. But we didn't do a very good job of putting the ball in the hoop. But anytime you hold a team into the 30s, you're giving yourselves a pretty good chance to win. When they came up here about 8 days ago, we really stuck the press to them. We didn't press them down there. We didn't have that totally in yet and ready for them. So when they came up here, we got them playing really fast, and they really struggled with that. And tonight, I think we're going to want to see more of the same. We're going to make them go fast, playing the full court, force them some other kids on the floor to make decisions besides Talili Lang. She's a pretty good basketball player for them. Madison Malachik is a good post player for them, who in the half court can hurt you. So we want to make sure that we limit those half court offensive chances by getting them playing fast and getting the ball out of Talili Lang's hands and into somebody else's hands that's going to make decisions for them, because they're relatively young. They don't have much for a senior class this year, so it's a lot of juniors and some sophomores getting playing time. So we're going to have to take advantage of our experience tonight.
And I think we've known since, last year probably, that the section is going through Alexandria this year. Anybody who gets to state's going to have to, at some point, beat Alexandria in the postseason. And you would like nothing better than to have that chance.
That's the goal, right? It's one game at a time, but the ultimate goal is to beat Alexandria and play down at the state tournament. And that's what these girls have their minds set on. And they truly believe that they can do that. And they know, they've seen what it takes. I think when you look at the time we played Wilmer 8 days ago, that kind of effort and energy is what it takes. And, we've lived by the saying of who you play doesn't change how you play. And that can't change whether you play a St. Cloud or a Sauk Rapids or a Wilmer or an Alexandria. So you have to bring that same mentality into a Wilmer and hopefully into an Alexandria next Thursday if we get the chance. So we have to take care of business tonight. But yeah, we want to see Wendy Kohler and the Cardinals next Thursday.
That can be good motivation for tonight, for sure. All right, good luck tonight, 7 o'clock tip-off. Nick Yule will have it here on News Talk 1250 KBRF from the Roosevelt Gym for the Otters and Wilmer. All right, thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Craig.
Josh Steer, head coach of the Otter girls basketball team. We're going to stick with girls basketball. Brian Hovland's going to be in to talk about the Underwood Rockets. They've got a big one today, too, against New York Mills, which we'll be covering. More on that in a few minutes, but don't go away. More to come on our Coaches Show here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
News, talk, sports, and ag information. News Talk 1250 AM KBRF, Fergus Falls. Depend on it. Portions of today's program may be pre-recorded.
High-quality local embroidery for your community. Running Stitches is the choice for everything, from business logos to team apparel and personal projects. They bring your designs to life. Andrew and Allison Olson from Running Stitches Embroidery are proud supporters of local sports.
When addiction takes hold, it's easy to feel like no one can help. But you're not in this alone. For 75 years, Hazelden Betty Ford has been at the forefront of addiction and mental health care, evolving treatment, reimagining recovery, and breaking through barriers to help families everywhere find healing. So please reach out at 855-489-2383. Help is here. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation and aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News.
Join me live every Friday on KBRFradio.com or the Fergus Now app for the weekly news recap, where I recap this week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. The live stream starts at 12:30 and will be available to watch after the stream ends. The KBRFradio.com weekly news recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorial.com, memorials that matter.
Hi, I'm Sue Tate. You know, it's easy to put things off. Exercise, housework, kitchen remodel. Now there's one thing I shouldn't have put off because it just took one call to Mike at Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops. I now have the kitchen I was dreaming about for years with lots of features and changes that I hadn't even thought about. Thank you, Mike and crew at Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops. I love my new kitchen.
Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops, located next to Quality Toyota on Lincoln Avenue, Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the program. Brian Hovland is here, the head coach of the Underwood girls basketball team. 22-5 heading into today's game against New York Mills. We were talking with Josh Steer, another 20-win coach this year with his Otter girls, and you get to the playoffs, Brian, and you just wipe those away. It's good. You got a home game out of it, playoffs, but you're 0-0, and boy, in Section 6A, that is really true because there are so many teams here that are in the conversation as to who's going to win this title.
It's loaded. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there's 3-4 teams in the South, and there's, I think, any one of the 4 teams in the North right now could win it. And we played them all, and it's just really tough. I mean, it's how teams match up to each other, and you just never know what's going to happen. I told the girls, I said, there's going to be some upsets today somewhere. I mean, where you think the team that's going to win isn't going to win, and it's just it's great atmosphere and great time of the year.
Underwood plays New York Mills. That's about 2:45 start over in Perham today. Mark Johnson's going to be over there with the doubleheader, and the Rockets playing the New York Mills Eagles, a team that you beat earlier. More on that in a minute. I want to go back to the win over Rothsay. You beat them 61-41 that opening night. You get the game at home, and you want to go out and just take care of business, and it looks like the Rockets did.
It was a pretty good game. They shot the ball extremely well in the first half, and it was part of what we were doing defensively, and switched some of that stuff up in the second half, and were able to hold some of their shooters down. They did a good job of taking away some of our stuff too, but we had some girls that really stepped up, which, from the beginning of the year to now, we're a much different team than we were, just because of some younger kids playing in different spots and really hitting some big shots for us.
Yeah, I know you pointed out Lauren Hexham's effort the other night, and she had 15 points for you, and just if you put that 15 points up there with what you're getting from Trinity Baker and Callan Grove, that's really a big number.
Very much so. Those two are probably always going to, not always, but they're you can guarantee that they're going to do some stuff for you. And Millie kind of struggled a little bit in the first half, and Lauren really took that over in the first half, and then Millie in the second half was able to hit some shots that, and if you can get 4 girls close to, or if not double figures, 5 at sometimes, it makes it a real tough team to defend. And in that first half, Lauren was 3 for 3 from 3 that, were just big shots for us that we needed at that time. So, that's the fun part, is watching those kids that maybe haven't been doing it all year step into a role that we really need at that time.
Well, you've played this game at a high level, and you coached it for many years, and it seems like a philosophy a lot of times is, hey, we just need to neutralize this one player on this team, and then I think we're in control. With the Rockets right now, if people are gearing in, and I'm sure you've seen it this year on Callan Grove, you need someone else step up, and they've been able to do that. Have you seen a lot of that tension going Callan's way?
Yes, very much. And Rothsay was, had set that tone right away, being physical with her, and she still got her points, and she does so much for us. I mean, when you get, it's not just the offensive part of it either. The 9 blocks she had the other night. I mean, and that's not counting the ones that she didn't block but changed.
Right.
And So those types of things are huge for us. You know, when you got a 6-footer that can block a shot, rebound it, and lead the break, because she's dribbling it up the floor, passing it to guards that are open for layups. I mean, it's just stuff that you dream about as a coach,
Right.
and so I mean, all those things put together for her, when they're taking those things away, those other girls stepping up is huge.
And she's playing volleyball in college?
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
Brianna Rasmussen was the same way, you know, one of those players that can change the game. And,
Yeah.
and she certainly is one of them. Yeah, 9 blocks. So that's just mind-boggling. I know she has double-digit blocks, too, a couple times.
Yep.
But
Yep.
that's a season, Brian,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a game,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, just she's a tremendous player to build around, but to see the complementary players. And Trinity Baker's had such a great year for you.
Very much so. You know, she's kind of the, you know, only a sophomore, but she runs the show, you know, I mean, and sets stuff up for us. And she's our defensive stopper. You know, she plays bigger than she is, rebounds really well, is able to guard people that, you know, 5'9", 5'10", you know, that she just frustrates them, and we need that out of some, you know, same thing. You say every team, you try to neutralize somebody. When I want to neutralize somebody, I put Trinity on her.
Okay. Well, you played New York Mills earlier this year, real early, like
November 26th. I think.
yeah, and beat them by
Whatever it was.
3.
Yeah.
And both teams, I'm sure, are quite different
Yeah.
since then as
Yeah.
to what you're doing and how comfortable you are with your rotation and all that. But when you look at Mills and the personnel they have, where's your attention go as far as what you're going to try to do to slow them down today?
You know, Ayla Olson's by far their best player, I think, anyway. I mean, and she's a tough matchup because she's so strong. You know, how do we defend her? How do we keep her off the boards? She does an extremely good job of getting offensive boards and putbacks. So that's the big one there. You know, and watching film on them now, because, you know, like you say, everything's changed. You know, some of the teams that we played matched up pretty well with them, so I think we can match up with them. You know, and but we're going to need to keep her off the boards and keep her from scoring. You know, and if we can do that and put some pressure on some of their guards, I think we're going to be all right.
You know, you had a 10-game winning streak earlier, and then lost back-to-back games to 2 pretty good teams, Hillcrest and Breckenridge, who are number 1 seeds in their respective subsections. And you think of Hillcrest as a conference game, obviously, but Breckenridge a non-conference game. How much do you feel your schedule has prepared you for what you're facing right now? Because when you play non-conference teams, you play some really good ones.
You know, we ended the season with Hancock, Hillcrest, Breckenridge, and Park Christian. You know, and they're all playing yet today.
Yep.
You know, so I think that was our last 4 games, and you know, when we came out of that 2-4, and in the Breckenridge game, we were up 10 at half, and up. We actually led with a minute and a half to go. So, you know, it's teams that we can play with. You know, and it's, you know, in the last couple of years, we were kind of in that same situation where we had lost to Hancock both times in the regular season,
yep.
And it just get us to that game. You know, and I keep telling that girls, just get to the next one. Doesn't matter who it is, just get to the next one, and you never know what'll happen. And you know, in the last 2 years, it's worked out well for us. You know, and not that we're not the same team, but they have that mentality where it's just one more game. You know, you got the opportunity to play one more game, which a lot of teams don't. You know, take advantage of it. So excited for them today. You know, playing at Perham, you know, with multiple games there is a great atmosphere. So, you know, and it's something that they've been in. So I'm, you know, excited for them to play in it today.
Basketball IQ is a phrase we've heard a lot of in recent years, and I know that coaches have told me some teams, you know, they grasp what you're teaching very quickly, and you don't have to do a lot of detailed coaching. You can adjust on the fly, and they know what you want to get done out there. How is this team at doing that, Brian, at adjusting on the fly, and during the timeout, you tell them something is going to happen?
You know, they do a really good job of it. You know, even at this time of the year, we do, we practice like normal, but maybe not as hard, not as much. We watch a lot of film together, because it's easier to see it than sometimes than to do it. Because it's hard to duplicate what another team is doing, exactly. So you start looking at, like today, New York Mills plays a lot of 1-2-2 zone. How they drop, where they defend, these girls fly. And we watched that yesterday. We practiced a little bit, and then the boys had a home game, so we went and watched some film while everything was getting set up. And I'm like, remember, look at how open this is. This is the spot we need to keep looking for. And, so I think they grasp that well, and hopefully today they put it, to use. So.
How about the health of the Rockets heading into today?
Other than me having a cold, most everybody else is really healthy. We haven't had any, knock on wood, especially this time of the year, not every team is very deep, and you can't have any of those injuries. So, we've been pretty healthy. So
awesome. Thank you for making the trip over today. Have a great time in Perham. Should be a fun game with New York Mills, and we'll have it on the radio, folks, on KJ Country 96.5 FM at 2:30 for the pregame, roughly 2:45 for tip-off. Mark Johnson with the call. Brian Hovland, our guest this morning on the Coaches Show from the Underwood Rockets. Thanks, Brian.
You bet. Thank you.
And we'll come back with Derek Abrahams joining us, the activities director from Fergus Falls High School. We'll talk with Derek, catch up on a few things, including a couple of new spring coaches that the Otters have hired on the varsity level, and we'll find out more about that on the flip side after this break here on Newstalk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
Hi, this is Josh Sternberg with Sternberg Homes. If you're dreaming of remodeling your home or lake place before summer, now's the time to start planning. We're already booking spring projects, and summer slots are going to fill up fast. Whether it's a kitchen makeover, a full bath remodel, or upgrading to a custom walk-in shower, we're ready to take measurements and turn your vision into reality. Don't wait. Let's get your plans in motion today. Call Sternberg Homes and let's build something amazing together.
Sternberg Homes. You can check them out at sternberghomes.com.
Folks, listen up. This is Chris Cannon, Executive Director at the Humane Society of Lauderdale County, and boy, do we have cats for you. We've got new cats, we've got certified pre-owned cats, low mileage cats, high mileage cats, cats that will chase your mice, and cats that are a little too afraid of them. Whatever you're looking for, we've got the perfect match. Cats of every color, shape, and size. Don't let these little beauties slip through your paws. Come on down to the Humane Society in Fergus Falls and take a test meow today.
As temperatures plunge, it's the perfect time to dive into book season. Whether you're curling up on the couch or nestled in your favorite chair, Victor Lindeen Company is here to make your reading escape even better. From expert advice on authors to local favorites and stories set right here at home, you'll find inspiration. At Victor Lundeen Company, it's not just a book nook. It's a treasure trove of bestsellers, timeless classics, and kids' favorites. Victor Lundeen Company, the fun place to shop in downtown Fergus Falls.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
Hey, welcome back. Man, this has been a whirlwind today. Everything's going on. We got so much on the radio today. Lots of basketball coming up. Let me just highlight that for you. Spartan basketball, 4 o'clock on Channel 977 FM at AM 1020 with Jason Retzloff from the Region 13 tournament. They won yesterday 107-55, and they play Ridgewater today. Doubleheader from Perham in Section 6A. Hillcrest plays at 1 o'clock in their game against Park Christian. Thank you. And then Underwood New York Mills at 2:45 from Perham. Those games on KJ Country, 96.5 FM. Hancock and West Central area from Minnewaska Area High School in Glenwood at 2:45 on Real Rock Z103. And tonight the Otters play at home at Roosevelt at the Roosevelt Gym against Wilmer in the Section 8-3A girls basketball semifinals. And you'll find that here on Newstalk 1250 KBRF. And Derek Abrahams is with us, the head coach of the boys tennis team. Oh, and
apparently now. Yep.
Wearing another hat, Derek.
Yep.
You've worn that hat before.
I wore that hat. I'll have to go find that hat. It's been a while, but yeah. I'm gonna coach a little tennis this spring. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. And it's been quite a few years. And then, got to watch my daughter. I just be kind of a parent with that one and go through and the chance was there to do it and the opportunity and really we just talking to a few people and thought, well, we'll do this for a year or two until we can get some other people back in there. But yeah, it'll be fun.
So Derek's also, of course, the activities director at Fergus Falls High School. And as long as I brought up the coaching thing, let's talk about the other change because you've had another change this spring.
Travis Johnson will be taking over for boys golf. So he'll do a great job. He's been part of our golf program for 14 years, both on the boys and the girls side. Has helped with a lot of that kind of work that a head coach does. Very familiar with the courses, the CLC courses that we play and the boys and everything like that. So I know Travis is going to do a great job with that as well. So yep, those were the two changes for the spring so far. So we've been lucky with a small turnover in all of our sports. Head coach or being a coach in high school today is not an easy job. It's time consuming. It seems to be more and more every single year that we ask our coaches to do. So it's hard, but we have a great staff across the board, and we're happy to have Travis add to that.
Well, talk about what's going on today with Fergus Falls activities, because we know I just mentioned the basketball game tonight, but there's a lot going on between now and then.
We ended up a very busy Saturday today. We, of course, start off state wrestling. Caleb had a couple tough ones last night. He had a really good first match yesterday and won that, got into the quarterfinals, and ran into a couple real tough opponents. His second one was against a 3 seed. Watching that, he really looked like he had a couple chances where Caleb would get the guy off balance, put him on his back, and the guy had amazing footwork and balance, and Caleb couldn't quite get that to happen. And great wrestler he went up against, so he lost that one. And then another real tough one to a very determined senior last night that he dropped. So Caleb is done now, but what a great run for him. 160 is a tough weight. Those are amazing athletes at that 160. So Caleb did an amazing job. We have our CLC speech meet today. So speech team took off early this morning. We also had our robotics team, which is part of our school team or our activities department, but they're also very independent through the Robotics Association. They have a state tournament at the end of the year, which is tied in with the State High School League, but outside of that, they're pretty independent. But they've been in Duluth for the past couple days with their super regionals that they have. So they'll be coming back tonight. Our esports team, which is a new activity that we started, which has been growing, and we started that this year. And we had 5 or 6 individuals that they qualified for the state tournament this year in our first year. So they are taking off here in just a little bit to head down to St. Cloud for theirs, and they compete actually today and tomorrow. They're not part of the State High School League either until they're just partnered with them, so they can actually participate on Sundays and things. So they're today and tomorrow. And then swimming.
Yeah.
We have day 2 of our section. So they had the prelims last night. The Otters swam well last night and put ourselves in a good position, or according to what Coach Hansen was saying to me, just where they need to be right now. So and that's at 1 o'clock at Morris. And then the basketball game tonight.
So other than that, there's not much happening, folks.
Pretty slow Saturday.
Wow. And it's so great because you got so many kids who are competing, and this late in their season, still getting an opportunity to go out and compete. And I don't know if you have the numbers off the top of your head of how many student athletes are involved in winter activities, but it's a bunch.
It's about 340 or so, same in fall.
Nice.
Yep. So we have over half We've consistently been at about 60% at any given time of our athletes are involved in some kind of activity. And then when you throw in pep band or clubs or jazz band, things like that, other outside things besides the 5 classes they take every day, we're closer to that 70-75%, which when you read all the articles in the paper, you look at the trends of fewer and fewer kids in these and more schools co-oping, not having the numbers, especially unfortunately on the girls' side. So far, we've been able to stay pretty strong in that.
How many total activities in the winter? Do you know that number?
8.
The sports,
and
right?
Then you have robotics and one-act play, things like that. So we have about 11 or 12 different activities going on, and 8 sports.
Yeah. Wow. And a lot of kids. That's awesome to see that happening.
It's a lot
of fun. Tonight, Roosevelt Gym.
Yep.
And you'll you'll have another game at Roosevelt coming up with the Otter Boys.
We will. So everything for basketball for the last week and a half or 2 weeks and moving forward are at Roosevelt. This will be our 3rd night in a row having a game down there. And of course, the Otter girls played real well on Thursday night on that first round of section tournament, beating St. Cloud. And then last night we had the boys with their last regular season game to kind of cinch up that 2 seed. Voting it hasn't come out officially yet, but we will be the 2 seed. And they had a nice solid win on senior night last night at Roosevelt, packed house, and we're hoping for the same tonight then with the semifinals for the girls, taking on Wilmer. So Wilmer gets to travel back up here tonight on the girls' side this time, and that'll be a 7 o'clock game. And again, no passes or anything. This is a section game. You can use a card at the door. And doors will open at 6, just so people know. So if you get there before 6, you won't be able to get in because we're still be setting up and transitioning the gym a little bit from the shoot-arounds and stuff like that. So.
And the Otter Boys will play on
Tuesday
night.
7 o'clock at Roosevelt, and it's I don't think there's any way it's not St. Cloud Tech.
Right.
That is the 7 seed, so just looking at the bracket. So we'll be hosting St. Cloud Tech at Roosevelt. Again, tickets same way, no passes or anything like that. Have to buy your ticket either online or a card at the door, and that'll be Tuesday night.
You are a historian of sorts. You like the history.
Taught that for 15 years.
Yeah, there you go. And Otter history in basketball changed here this last week.
It did.
We got a new leader in, a lot of categories. What an amazing night for Henry Bethel on a Tuesday to set 3 records in one game.
Absolutely, it was, and it came right off of one that it kind of got buried. Now, although Bryn Sternberg too broke a record. Right, it was right during the hockey tournament, so it didn't get noticed when the state hockey where she broke the assist record. So sorry, Bree. That was Bree Rasmussen or Bree Pearson's one of hers, but most assists, so she got 15. And then we followed that up, so we were kind of looking at the record boards, and I knew Henry was getting close to the all-time record. He actually, interesting story, he thought he was still another 20 or 25 away. He didn't know the exact number, so, but down at Tech, he did that. We also knew he was going to break the single season record because there was 8 points difference for him coming into the season. That once if he would break the single season record, he just needed 8 more to break the all-time record. So we knew those were close. We weren't even looking at the single game. And so the game it was an away game, and I was watching it online, and then he got to 42, or I knew he broke the record. So I actually drove into school that night because I wanted to get Amber Hovland, who does all of our posts, wanted to know what the exact number was, and I couldn't remember. So I drove into school that night, took a picture of the record board, and looked at all 3 and thought, So I texted Matt Johnson, I said, looks like he broke all 3 in one night. And he goes, yep, broke single seasons so he took 2 of Jason Retzloff's records, the single game and the season, and then also broke Nate Runn's all-time scoring record.
And as an added touch that happens in sports, Jason Retzloff's broadcasting the game.
He was.
As his 2 records fall.
I think he knew one of them was going to go. I think he'd have liked to have probably held on to that other one. But knowing Jason, too, he was happy to see it broken. So
he was excited for Henry for sure. So Yeah, what a great accomplishment. Our congratulations to Henry. Hey, do we know what Henry's doing next year? Has he decided?
Don't know what Henry's doing next year. No.
Okay.
No. Talked to him a little bit. He hasn't. There's been no decision.
Yeah, because he could probably has the option of football or basketball. I would
He
guess.
probably would. So there's a lot of options on the table for kids, and not everybody even goes and plays.
Right.
Now. I mean, there's a lot of different pressures with the college part too, and so he has, to my knowledge, has not decided anything yet.
You know, winter's such a busy season, and I know last night, Minnesota Motors paid for everybody to go to the games again, and you have sponsors step up and do different things like that, and this community support, and Josh and I talked about it a little bit this morning too. It's just amazing, and for a guy in your position, when you go out and talk to sponsors and businesses, see them at games, whatever, it's just got to make you feel real good about this community and the support that you get with your programs.
Absolutely. It's, Minnesota Motors is a big one. They, being here for so long and all alumni and everything else, they come to us with ideas, on like, hey, can we do this? Can we do this? We'd like to help you here. And then the few times that I actually go to them and say, hey, we need some help here, they're always so willing to do that. But I hate to start listing them all off because I'm going to forget somebody. But I mean, again, service food, I can't. I have to throw that out there because, Gary Spees was unbelievable in the whole community and everything that he always did. And Kevin King now has continued that, and it's absolutely amazing what they're willing to do. Fergus Home and Hardware, Otter Tail Power. You just go to the hospital. Everybody, they love to. Show that, and examples of things. And it's not like they all need the advertising. I had a conversation. I'll throw another Fergus icon business out there, the Viking Cafe. I'll go and talk to Pat Scholl. I don't think, just based on trying to get a seat Saturday or Sunday morning, for a thing, I don't know that he needs to advertise with us, but they sure love, they know where the money goes, and they love to support the school. So we appreciate that, and more, a lot of the things that we do, we can't do without this community.
Yeah.
So much fun.
We're all in it together, right?
We are.
A lot of great partners. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Derek, thanks so much for coming in and talking Otter sports. Always fun to catch up with you. And
absolutely.
Now we'll look forward to getting those tennis results from you. Stay on that, though.
I will. I'll have to remember to call you.
All right. Derek Abraham's the head coach of the Otter boys tennis team and the activities director, of course, at Fergus Falls High School. Well, a busy day on the radio. You can tune in Spartan basketball on 977, Otter basketball tonight on News Talk 1250, KJ Country Section 6A girls basketball doubleheader, Z103 wrestling updates, plus the Section 6A game with West Central area and Hancock. All of that going on a busy Saturday. One more coaches show next Saturday, 8 to 9:30 here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
With your forecast from the KBRF Weather Center. Sunny skies.